Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Naomi, and today I have 5 yoga poses that you can do to help make your handstand a little easier. So these are poses that will not only target the areas of your body that you need to strengthen and pay more attention to so that handstand feels a little bit more possible, but they're also poses that take the same shape as handstand in various ways so that you will feel more confident in your foundation and more prepared when you want to take the big leap. Okay, so the ability to do handstand before this video is not required, but a sense of adventure and the idea that you want to maybe challenge yourself just a little bit absolutely is. Okay, so all that said, you shouldn't need any props at all for this practice, just a willingness to boldly go upside down where maybe you haven't gone lately or before. I'm a big Star Trek nerd, so you just got to go with me on the Star Trek metaphors. Okay, anyway, first thing you're going to do is on your back. So please come to lie down on your back. If you want something a little bit more comfortable underneath you, you can lay out a blanket, which I'm going to do because my back porch is hard cement and very uncomfortable to lie on. So lie down on your back. And all you're going to do, first pose is Supta Parangustasana. So draw your right knee in towards your chest, interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, press your hands into your thigh, but also push your thigh into your hands and extend your right leg straight. So the more you push forward with your thigh into your hands, the easier it is to straighten your leg. Now, if your leg doesn't go all the way straight, no biggie. The action of pushing forward is more important. But what you can also do here is pull down a little bit with your right heel. That's just going to even out your hips a little so they're less wonky, okay? And as you pull down with your heel, extend up through the ball of your foot. So just creating a circuit of energy through your leg. Okay, take a full breath in here. Full breath out. Now, of course, you could always walk your hands up a little bit higher. You could bring your hands up to your foot, the ball of your foot if you can reach it. Don't walk your hands up though if when you start walking up, your knees bend and you're like rounding and you're like, you have to sort of tuck in. This is an exercise for your hamstrings first and foremost. So if you start crunching in, your hamstrings are working less. So you want your hands to be on your right leg where you can create the most action. Okay, take a full breath in right where you are. Full breath out. And then release your right leg all the way down and draw your left leg in. And interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Okay, now you can also do this with a belt. Like if you had a belt, you could loop the belt around the back of your thigh and extend your left leg straight. You could loop it over the top of your foot as well, over the ball or over the heel. But if you don't have any props, holding on to the back of your leg is just fine. You're going to get the same action there. The only reason that you might want to use a belt is if your shoulders are a little tighter and it's preventing you from reaching. Okay, if your shoulders have less mobility. So press your thigh into your hands and at the same time pull a little bit with your hands against your thigh so you create active resistance. Now at the same time, keep your right leg active, which means you turn your toes toward the ceiling and you're pulling your big toe inward instead of letting your right leg flop out to the right. Okay, now that's essential because that's what initiates the action of balance in handstand once you're upside down. Okay? And again, you can walk your hands up your leg, maybe hold on to the ball of your foot, so long as that doesn't radically change what's happening in your upper body. Okay, take a full breath in here. Full breath out. Now, to turn this up just a notch, once you've worked your hamstrings, you can release your hands from your leg. You can take your arms overhead, which is sort of taking the shape of like warrior 3 on your back, and then lift your right foot just an inch or 2 away from the floor and hold. Now, we didn't do this on the first side. That's okay, because you're going to switch your legs anyway and do it on the other side. But this action is just helping to engage your core muscles. Now, if you push your hands forward a little bit as though you were like hitting a volleyball, right? Setting a volleyball. I used to play volleyball. I know, shocking, because I'm like 5'2", but it's a thing that I used to do in high school. We were all short. The entire team was like under 5'9". I know, you're still here. Okay, so you're pushing forward, and that action is going to help contract your abdominal muscles, which is very nice. Just turns them on a little. Okay, now switch your legs. You can either lift your right leg up and lower your left leg down, or you can lower your left leg down and lift your right leg up. And one is certainly a little bit easier for your abs than the other. Make sure that your left leg is hovering though. And again, the shape that you're taking is Warrior 3, which we will revisit standing on one leg instead of lying on your back. Okay? Now, because we've been at this for a while, your abdominal muscles are working hard. They might be, feeling pretty fiery. In fact, if you smell smoke, you will certainly know where it's coming from. But pull your heels a little bit toward each other. Pull your hands slightly forward. That'll turn on your abdominal muscles even more. Get one more full breath in here. Get a full breath out, and then release your left heel. Lower your right leg. Whew, oh my God, we're done. Handstand. Like, that's it. No, I'm totally kidding. Roll. Wouldn't it be nice though? No. Roll over to your side and push yourself up into downward facing dog. Okay, so downward facing dog, and you can get rid of the blanket. You shouldn't need it again for a little while, but downward facing dog, and just hold. Now we're going to hold downward facing dog for a minute. And in fact, being able to hold downward facing dog for 2 minutes usually indicates that you're strong enough to do headstand. So holding down dog for about a minute indicates that probably you're strong enough to do handstand, because you don't have to be as strong to do handstand as you do for headstand. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You don't have to be as strong to do handstand as you do to do headstand. You just need a little bit more boldness and courage for handstand. Okay, now when you're in downward facing dog, push evenly through your fingers. So the tendency will be to roll out to the outside edges of your fingers, but press evenly through your thumb and your index finger, even squeezing them toward one another, and press through your finger pads as well. Okay, we're closing on that minute. And as much as you push from your chest through your hands, also stretch up through your hips. So you're shifting your weight a little bit. Okay, good. Now come forward, plank pose. So plank pose is another really important pose. This is pose number 3. Okay, it's a really important pose to practice to prepare for handstand. And the reason for that is that in plank pose, this is more where your handstand lives. Okay, it doesn't live in downward facing dog. That's just a good prep pose. In fact, if you shift your weight a little bit further forward, you really have to press down through your fingers. But if you shift further forward so your shoulders go past your wrists, that's more where your handstand lives, at least when you're trying to go up. Okay, because when you go up into handstand, your shoulders go past your wrists. Okay, let's take a full breath in here. Full breath out. Okay, we're going to hold for just another 5 seconds, which takes you to 50-second hold in plank, which hopefully wasn't so bad because I was talking the whole time. And then shift back into downward facing dog. Take your knees to the floor for a moment and rest. And if you need to shake out your hands, shake them out a little, shake them out. So just biodynamically, when you go up into handstand, your weight has to go past your wrists. And that's what makes it kind of scary, right? In the same way that when you go up into handstand, your hips actually go over your head, which is the other thing that makes it scary. Okay, so practicing those 2 actions is really useful because that will make you feel more confident when you do it, whether you're doing it with a wall behind you or whether you're doing it in the middle of the room. Okay, so now that we've taken a pretty reasonable break, we're going to add to downward facing dog and to plank pose. And we're going to add one leg lifted. Okay, so it's really doing the same poses, and you're going to start in plank. Okay, so in your plank pose, okay, press into your fingers and just lift your right leg up. Now, as you lift your right leg up, imagine just like you were lying on your back, pull from your heel in towards your body, and that'll charge up your core muscles. Okay, then push back into 3-legged dog. Notice that when you do, the tendency is to swing your leg higher, pull again from your heel towards your belly. So you feel that same contraction in your core muscles. Okay, come on back to plank. Keep that pull from your heel towards your belly and lower your right foot down. Switch sides. Lift your left leg up, pull from your heel towards your belly so you feel that fire in your belly, and then keep it as you push back into dog, which I think is hard, and I certainly lose it too. Okay, so I have to re-engage, and as I pull my heel toward my belly, I'm going to feel my pelvis move back and up. So instead of being arched, it's more neutral. I feel more engagement in my belly. Okay, more action there, and I can push, keeping it. I can push from my chest through my hands, keeping it. Okay, come back into the plank, keeping your left leg lifted, and then lower your left foot down. Okay, now step your right foot up into a lunge, push down through your right leg, and lift your arms. Just bring your hands to your hips for the moment. Okay, so pose number 4 is just a high lunge version of Warrior 1. Now, the reason that you want to do this is it actually teaches you how to push off, because we're going to use this as a transition into Warrior 3. Okay, so arms, if you want to prep them like you would for handstand, arms go straight up. If you want to give your arms a break, you can take them out to the sides instead, palms at your chest, or even arms alongside your body. So if your arms need a little break, put them there. Otherwise, arms overhead, shift forward, and then push off of your left leg like a spring to come into Warrior 3. Now, when you come into Warrior 3, squeeze your left leg in toward the center. Okay, so your inner thighs pull toward one another. Turn your left toes toward the floor. Okay, now with your left toes turned toward the floor, you should feel a lot of work in your core. Try not to lock your right knee so that it's not your knee joint doing the work here to help you balance, but instead your legs and your core. Okay, step all the way back into that high lunge version of Warrior 1. Lower your hands to the floor and step up into a forward bend. Okay, and then second side, take your right leg back. Okay, firm up your legs a lot. Push back through your right leg through your heel to help lift yourself up. So one of the other things that helps you lift up into handstand is actually using your legs like the springs that they are, right? Your quadricep muscles are springs, right? That's why if you've ever seen Olympic sprinters, their quads are massive. And it's because they're using them like pistons to push off. Okay, so you don't need them to be that big and that powerful here, right? You're not trying to run 100 meters in 13 seconds or something like that. But you are trying to use them for power. Okay, so arm position of your choice, and then push from your right leg into your left, Warrior 3. And then squeeze your right leg towards your left leg to fire up your core muscles. Don't lock your left knee. Instead, anchor down through your whole foot evenly as you stretch out, and then step your right leg all the way back, and then lower your hands to the floor and step up again. Now I'm going to give you one more bonus pose, and that's standing split. Okay, so press down through your right leg, lift your left leg up, give your right knee a little bend, and then pull your left heel in towards your body. Okay, so you're feeling your hamstrings work, your belly work. Keep your right knee bent, press through your fingertips, round up through your belly, take your left leg higher. Now to play with the balance here, plant your hands on the floor out in front of you, come up onto your right tiptoes, and just give a couple little hops. 1, 2, 3, and then lower your left leg down. So it doesn't have to be a lot, but you want your leg to be high enough up, right, that your leg is starting to pull you up as you're shifting into your arms. Okay, so second side, stand on left leg, right leg goes up, come up onto your fingertips and bend your left knee. Okay, now spread the toes of your right foot and pull your right foot in, just like you did in the very first pose on your back. As you pull your right leg in and your belly wakes up, lift your belly higher and then take your right leg up higher. Doesn't matter how high it goes. It might still be pretty low to the floor. Doesn't matter. Walk your hands out until you can plant them. Come way up onto your left tiptoes. Bend your left knee and hop, hop. Squeeze them out with your fingers, hop. And then step back, downward facing dog. Whee! And then take your knees to the floor for a second, just sit back on your heels. Okay, so those are the 5 plus the bonus pose of ways that you can strengthen to handstand. Now, what I'd like to do is actually put all of those into a little flow for you so that if you want something quick to practice and prep for handstand every day, you can. Okay, so we're going to start in downward facing dog. So it's just a little flow linking 5 of those 6 poses together. so that you can do all of the actions that you need to feel more confident in handstand, all right? So downward facing dog, and then inhale forward into your plank pose, okay? Now in your plank, lift your right leg up and squeeze, okay? Now, walk back, not into dog, keep your right leg lifted, but walk into standing split. Okay, you can give your left knee a little bit of a bend, pull from your heel, your right heel, towards your left, so your belly lifts. Okay, and then keep that lift, take your leg higher. Push straight down through your left leg. I'm going to hop forward actually, so I have a little bit more space. But push down through your left leg, squeeze in, and lift your arms. Warrior 3. So your hamstrings are working and your core. Now step all the way back into that high lunge version of Warrior 1. Okay, now you're going to do some pulses to push back up into Warrior 3. So push, Warrior 3, and then go back. High lunge version of Warrior 1. Push, Warrior 3, and then go back. High lunge version of Warrior 1. Okay, last time. Push, Warrior 3, and hold. Hamstrings on fire, that's okay. Lower your hands to the floor. Okay, plant your hands, and if you'd like right here, just give a little hop. Hop, hop, and then walk back out to your plank. Keep your leg lifted. Lower your right foot down, downward facing dog. Okay? So totally fun. I'm totally out of breath. I'm dripping with sweat. But we have a whole other side to do. So take your left leg up. Oh, sorry, stay in down dog. Got so excited. Okay, come forward into your plank. Lift your left foot up and pull from your heel in towards your body. Okay, now keep your leg lifted, but walk back, coming into standing split. Lower your heel down. Squeeze your left heel towards your right. So you're turning your toes more toward the floor. Lift through your belly. Okay, now walk your fingertips forward. Squeeze in again. And as you lift up through your back ribs, take your arms forward. Warrior 3. And try to find that handstand action in your Warrior 3, like you did on your back. Okay, now bend your right knee, step back. High lunge version of Warrior 1. And then push off 3 times. 1, step back. 2, push off, Warrior 3. Step back. Last one, push off with your left leg into your right, Warrior 3. And then lower your hands down to the ground. Plant your hands, bend your right knee, turn your left toes in, and just 3 hops. 1, 2, 3. Try to find that Warrior 3, and then lower down. Walk back out, plank pose. Keep your left leg lifted, left foot down, down dog, knees to the floor, and sit back. Woo! Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know about you, but I am dripping right now. Could be because it's really hot and muggy here on my back porch. It could be because I've been working hard. It could be a combination of both. What I want you to get out of this is that when you put all of those actions together, and that's the squeezing in, finding your Warrior 3, then you can start to find the actions of your handstand. And I just want to show that really, really quickly before I say goodbye, is that when you start to feel more confident there, sorry, sweat is dripping everywhere. I'm like, sweat off, okay? What you can start to do is find your Warrior 3 in handstand, right? And that's going to give you that greater feeling of support and success. Okay, so whether or not you get both legs up isn't the issue. It's can you find Warrior 3 on your hands? That looks like this, okay? So if I take my left leg up, I'm going to shift my weight into my arms, give a hop and hold. Hop and hold, right? Hop, hold, Warrior 3. Okay? And when you can find that Warrior 3 and hold it, that's when you can start taking the other leg up, okay? And that all comes from building confidence in these foundational 5 plus a bonus pose. So I hope you found this really helpful. Please let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. Let me know how your handstand practice and journey is going. And I can't wait to see your handstands. I can't wait to hear how this goes for you. So hopefully this opens up a whole new world of floating, flying, balancing, and going upside down. Okay, so keep me posted on your handstand journey. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me on the mat. It's always fun for me, and I hope it's fun for you too. All right, see you next time. Bye.